According to Adrian Wojnarowski, Joel Embiid is nearing a return and expected to play this week. The reigning MVP has been out since January 30th with a left meniscus injury. His status for Tuesday versus OKC is expected later on today. So I've just read this tweet by him. From what I've read now, he won't play in the OKC game, but he's going to come back sometime this week. I have to admit, I am surprised by this quick return by him. I thought he was actually done for the whole entire season. Meniscus injuries are interesting. Sometimes people come back really fast from them. Sometimes people are out for longer periods of time, depending on the way they got the injury treated. So that's interesting that he was able to recover that quickly. When you look at his numbers this year, he was having another MVP season. He was averaging 35.3 points per game, owned 53 overall from the field, averaging 11.3 rebounds and 5.7 assists. So he was having a complete season, as they would say. But one thing I would say, I felt when I was watching these Sixers games this year that he was being overused. I felt like his usage rate was too high. I could be wrong. I haven't checked it, but I felt that they were extending him too much instead of developing the team more so that they wouldn't have to rely on getting 35 points a game. I strongly believe that the Sixers can't be a title contender. They cannot be a title contender until Joel is able to just average somewhere around, I would say, 26 to 29 points a game, maybe even 30, but they can't win if he has to average more than 30 for them to win games. I think that's actually very unhealthy. I think it's unhealthy because you're expanding his energy. He's going to be tired come playoff time. You're risking him getting hurt, which he did get hurt this year by overusing him. I even look at the game against the Spurs when he got 70 points. It wasn't necessary for him to play in that garbage time, but they were trying to get him that record just so he could get that 70 points. But I think stuff like that results in him getting hurt. Also, it's important for the Sixers to be able to win without him scoring that much, for other guys to get involved. That's how you build a championship team, when other guys can consistently produce while your superstar doesn't have to overexert themselves. That's usually true with most title contenders. Superstars are always going to get great numbers, but they shouldn't have to get astronomical numbers for the team to win. So that to me was a sign the Sixers were not a contender. Granted, now they've played without him for a while, and I think other guys have stepped up. I haven't really watched them since he's been gone, but I'm assuming Tyrese Maxey has continued to play well. So a lot will be expected from him, and just guys like Tobias Harris and trying to think of the other guy on their team. What's his name? Kelly Oubre. So I think he's also pretty important, but it'll definitely be interesting, I would say. Just when you look at the Eastern Conference standings, the Sixers are currently number 8. I would say their best case scenario would be the 4th seed. It's still possible they can get it if they win all their remaining games and the teams ahead of them drop a few games. It's possible, but it's highly unlikely. I think most likely they'll fall somewhere between 6 through 8, probably in that range. So they'll fall somewhere in there. I definitely think it'll be interesting who they face in round 1. If they face the Celtics, I think they're going to lose for sure. I don't think they can pull an upset on that team. Celtics are a well-oiled machine. They'll be very hard to beat in round 1. I don't think anyone can do it. Now, if they face any other team besides Celtics, I think it's possible for them to cause an upset. Milwaukee's the number 2 seed, but I don't really believe in them this year from what I've seen of them. They're not as good as they were once defensively. You can just see it's not there like it was in the past, so they could be exposed. Plus, Doc Rivers is known for his teams choking in the playoffs. Anything is possible with Doc being their coach. That definitely could be a series where an upset's possible. I feel if they play the Cavs in round 1, that's a potential upset right there that they could potentially take them out. So it'll definitely be interesting to see who they end up in round 1. I'm actually hoping they don't face the Celtics. I'd like to see them versus anybody else in round one. I think they'll be very entertaining. Hopefully, we get them playing the Bucks. A Giannis versus Joel Embiid series in round one. That would be probably one of the most exciting series in the playoffs, at least for the first round. I'm hoping for that. I think it'll be interesting. And I do think they can upset any team in the East in round one except the Celtics. So we just have to see how this plays out. If Embiid is healthy, that is. That's all I have to say about this.